Okay.
There we go. Welcome back to the Vermont House Appropriations Committee. It is still Monday, January 30th, 2023. It's a little bit after 4. We now have before us an updated version of the BAA with the changes that we instructed our ledge council and JFO to make in the bill. And we have, if I count this right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. Is that right?
That's right.
Oh.
But they're big places.
Well, section 45-7. Do I have the first one right?
Yep.
Oh, you're just being nice to me. Okay. Section 45-7. You have a page number? Page 22. And we highlighted it.
Oh, yeah.
So this change is just incorporating what you discussed earlier. So the new language is the plan shall be submitted not later than March 15th, 2023, and shall be reviewed by the committees of jurisdiction and approved by the General Assembly.
Those of you just tuning in, this is the $9.2 million that agriculture, both Senate and House, had around organic farmers that we sympathize with. We're just not ready to release it with just that little bit of knowledge. But we're gonna hold on to it and see what develops, because everything's always living and it will change.
So the key change here is the approved by General Assembly.
Yep.
Right.
And Madam Chair, I presume the committees of jurisdiction are the ones receiving,
Yeah. I would imagine, yes.
including the policy committee.
Including what?
Looks like the policy committees as well.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
we have multiple committees of jurisdiction,
because it could be the Senate.
policy and money. Yeah.
So does that mean, oh, I'm getting, yep, right, yep. Okay, we'll check that off as okay.
Then if you flip the page to page 24, and this is also subdivision 24, the change is very similar in intent and the language is the same here.
And
So this is the 3 million for the rural infrastructure assistance program that is being sort of held until the decisions are made.
Yeah,
Right.
which that decision may come as early as Wednesday, could be Thursday, but I'm gonna pretend we don't know that. But, okay. You're okay with that?
Then on page 25, subdivision 34. So we made a couple of changes here. The initial subdivision here is the exact same as it was in the previous draft. Subdivision A under 34 is the initial appropriation that Human Services requested.
We're gonna need to read this one a little bit.
So just to be clear, this has, instead of has a disability, it does use the
Yes, so
SSI or SSDI. And
Yes.
I thought we were gonna wait on that change.
I thought it was
think
the
we got-
elderly
we
one.
got-
Confirmed.
they confirmed
You
it.
got it?
I got a confirmation.
Never mind, I'm behind.
Okay, confirmed from,
The liaison, but an email CC to Teresa Woods. I can show
okay,
it to
great,
you.
no, that's all right, I just wanna make sure it
I
wasn't
saw it.
confirmed by,
But it was the two housing liaisons.
good,
Oh,
Human
stand down.
Services. Yep,
I'm gonna,
that's a good catch, we don't, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
I wanna just point out, in 34, that we just have a little transposition of the number. It should be 20,924,000. So $710, so we'll make that.
924, not 290.
Yeah.
924, that's gonna be the code, that's the code, Jim,
okay.
924.
Okay. Okay.
I just confirmed.
I had emailed thank you for asking. I had emailed the people who are the liaisons on the Human Service Committee on Housing to confirm whether it was acceptable to use SSI and SSDI as the disability designation.
Which is what
DCF had requested, and they said, yes, that is the designation we're using to generate these numbers anyway. And CC.
Okay, great, thank you.
And the chair of Human Services was CC.
Yeah, I'm checking that right now.
Okay.
And then
B,
So B is the 7.5 million to cover those that are not covered by the DCF Human Services language. So that's the technical fencing out. That is a separate amount from the $13 million request now.
okay. And let me ask a question.
yep, go
So
ahead.
the language about the housing study comes later in the E
Yeah.
section, is that right? Okay,
Yes.
just want to be sure that we're all clear on that.
Can I just ask you why?
So this follows how it was initially drafted, that the appropriation is separate from the working group language that comes later in the bill.
Has all the language.
Okay,
It's the way we structure a budget.
okay,
So they give you a little bit here, and if there's more, it's in the E section.
yeah. Although there's language. Anyway, never mind.
Okay.
You get offline.
Other places where it seems like we keep the language in.
Yes,
Yeah.
we just go with it.
Well, we're in B 11,
Yeah.
1100. So then that was.
So
34.
the next change is toward the end of the bill on page 53.
Section 87, is it?
Section 85 is change number
Page
we have.
53.
So this just removes the statutory language from the previous draft.
Okay, good. Oh, so we keep it in session.
Yeah.
I just have a question about
Oh,
that.
yep.
Were they amending existing statute or did they construct it to add a new subsection 3308 or whatever it was?
They were adding a new chapter to existing statutes, so we don't need to actually worry about changing statutory language by taking this out.
Thank you.
I think part of this, they wanted to make sure that if I recall, it was in addition to an expansion of people being served, they also wanted to make sure that the rate that they previously specified
Fallback.
to the additional, that it wasn't a fallback.
Right. We good? All right.
And the final change here, so this incorporates some language that DCF sent over for the Assistance Temporary Housing Program. So we changed the language to eliminate the previous language about the working group that right now is stalled, to give more of a general prescription for a group to convene on this with relevant stakeholders.
Will you do us a favor? Because there's people listening. Would you read it to us while we go along?
Yes.
Or I could do it, but I'm going to save my voice.
So section 87, General Assistance Temporary Housing Program. A, the Department for Children and Families shall convene a group of broad stakeholders, including continuum of care organizations, community action agencies, people with broad experience, lodging establishments, homelessness shelters, and other interested parties to examine the public policy options for administering temporary housing assistance. So that language comes directly from DCF. The remainder of the language in this section is from the previous draft. There's one small change I'll note on subdivision D. We included the language, or sorry, subdivision C, we include the language, the department shall also continue, just adding the also to make it clear that what is happening in subdivision A is the active working group, and in subdivision C, that the department shall generally continue to do that as well.
I think we need to read this. I do have a question.
Go ahead.
In A, you say continuum of care, and here you say continua of care. And I think they should be the same. I don't care what they
Yeah.
Is one plural?
it's plural.
Yeah, so that is coming from the DCF, that they have organizations there, but I think if we change both to be continua of care, that's fine.
Continuum of care, and then should continuum be continuum? I'm not going to get into that one, but I.
So the difference is that in the first case, it specifies organizations. And so
Right.
continuum of care is the heading, whereas in the latter, dropping organizations, the plural is all inclusive.
So we can eliminate the organizations language and have it match.
I don't know, let's leave it as the organizations, because we don't, including continuum of care organizations, we want them included. But here it's like state parties,
That's right.
including the continua of care.
So that means all of the aforementioned.
Yeah, okay. Service providers, people who live experience. Department of Family, Children and Families shall implement and the identified sustainable housing plan by July 1, 2023, in line with recommendations made in the April 15th written report. So come give us a peek as to what you're doing. Ensure,
Oh, it's not general housing and military affairs anymore.
no,
Oh,
where,
And section B, you have house committees on appropriations, you
Although,
have general housing and military affairs,
Yeah.
oh, right.
and it's general and housing.
Yep,
Hard to let go of that.
yep.
That's a good.
Should that still include government?
And I wonder if you also need to do Senate Economic Development because they do housing.
this is,
Yeah, economic development.
this
If
is
you're doing general-
temporary assistance.
Yes.
If we're doing general housing,
We need to do Senate Economic Development.
Oh, that-
because
yeah.
it's-
are you guys okay with that being done?
Yeah.
So,
You're not gonna need a new copy?
okay,
That's, yeah, it's just a name
so
change.
3
It's not
committees on each
substantive.
side, that makes sense.
Carry forward an effective date. You know what? We made less changes than I thought we did. I was like, as I was, oh my God, it's wild, but that is. Yeah, we good? Any other questions?
I just want to be sure. I think this doesn't,
Only because this wasn't my section and I didn't review it word for word, but
I read it, I just compared it.
I'm looking at page 43 on the initial draft, the incentive grant, et cetera. Is that wording all okay?
on, which one on
The
the,
the draft we reviewed earlier, it's section
Oh, for the preceptors.
Section 66, the workforce recruitment.
so when I looked at this, and this is good for the drafters, in the original 43 was all language that we added by dropping it into the budget last year. And then on page 44, Commerce's recommended amendment was to section 21, so section 67 of the draft, which is section 21 on the nurse preceptor. And that new language is, I've verified in sections A1 and 2 that is as intended by Commerce,
Yeah.
affirmed by Health.
Yeah, all I'm asking is, you
Yeah,
reviewed this?
So I'm asking, I'm with you, I'm just double checking that I got that right.
I checked at the break and that's correct.
Okay.
And that's section 66?
Section 67,
Yeah.
amending acts and resolves 183, section.
Okay, I have another question.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, on the original draft, it was page 26, section. This was on the purchase of Park Street in Rutland. Did we decide that needed to be approved or not approved? Or, I know we had
I
a
took it
discussion,
off.
we didn't want to hold it up.
Yep.
I was probably one that said that,
we took it off,
We didn't include it. We left it alone.
as is.
yeah.
Okay.
Because, yeah, we're making an
I
assumption.
know we were
we're
going
gonna
through
approve
approved, not approved, whatever, so I'm just easily confused. So,
it. No.
just checking.
Good. You good? That's it? You good? Representative Shy, if you're done.
So back to the last thing about the general assistance temporary housing program. There was a plan a few years ago to just transfer the whole problem to the designated agencies. And that did not sit well in the legislature. I just want to be sure that this language, some of it worries me that that is the direction that they will go to again. And I guess if we have to approve it, then that's something, but I would like to go on record saying that is not one of the options we should be considering. The designated agencies will never have the capacity to do that, and I think that's where the booking comes from. also. So,
Yep, don't try to turn your homework in with the same answer from the last.
right.
Still wrong.
That is actually what Health and Human Services, what Human Services said, exactly what you.
Yes, okay, good.
Representative Dillon.
With that note, just for clarification, I'm a bit confused about the term effective June 30th, 2023. I'm trying to understand what is effective on that date, because we already state that we'll be implementing the housing plan on July 1st, and which will be aligned with the report. Are we saying what will be effective, that taking in consideration steps necessary, or the actual motel voucher program itself? It's just a kind of a bit, it was awkward.
That's ending.
I'm not too sure, sorry, I got a little distracted with the draft number.
My confusion was around just the term effective June 30th, 2023, because earlier in that same.
It says ending reliance, so that's the last day of the fiscal year.
Yep.
And then July 1st is when the new stuff starts.
Right. So the effective reflects.
It's kind of funny, we use effective multiple ways and that, because it sort of means by the.
Yeah,
By June
usually,
30th.
yeah, it usually says by a certain date, it's affirmative, and yet we're talking about considering steps necessary. So I just, I don't know, I flag it as a bit awkward.
And should it be July 1st?
No, June 30th, because July 1 starts the new fiscal year. So when we work on FY '24, it'll all be about,
Okay,
it starts July 1.
so should effective be by? Or as of?
I'm not gonna get into that word. No.
I would recommend using on instead of by. If it's by, then it would technically be.
Okay.
Right.
On.
So it'll be effective on.
So ending reliance effective on the 30th, new program on the 1st.
So you're gonna need there'll be a new draft number when we do the roll call for this. With those
Do
changes.
you have it?
The draft number will stay the same. The DM number is what changes.
Which one?
So the DM number is the small number at the bottom of each page, the ledge.
Yeah.
The draft number at the top is the draft number for the BAA.
But we wanna make sure we reference the
So,
correct
so
bill.
if you can email us the final version, we can send that to drafting with the.
With the vote,
With the actual, they don't even need to vote for a committee bill.
okay, because they have to introduce it.
Yes.
Hasn't been introduced yet, yep, so they, yep, right. So, yes, I'll need a motion.
So I move that we approve, accept, the correct verbiage. I've forgotten now.
We approve,
Report favorably.
We
approve inspection, draft 23-0643.
Mhm.
with the changes that we just discussed.
I'll second it.
I am not Maida.
I was just saying, Maida would never have shrugged like that, Jim. She would not have.
You get one mulligan, kid. One mulligan.
We don't do that many.
I don't see the difference between what we looked at earlier, change 1 versus change 2, with the number at the bottom.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's exactly the same number.
Still.
So that number is like liable to change if you save it as a new version or whatever. It doesn't always change. I'm just referencing the fact that the draft number at the top will not change ever with the BAA.
Sometimes we specify the draft at 3:56 PM as a way of making
Right.
sure
We
we're
know which
to
version.
which version we're voting on.
Yeah, that draft at 3:56 PM plus the agreed upon
As
changes.
changed, as amended.
So we choose the bottom.
The number at the bottom is just the DM record. It can change depending if you save it as a new version.
But the most important part is the draft number.
Yes.
It's not an official bill yet, I mean,
Right.
so, like, if you get a bill from another committee, you have draft.
Right.
2.0.
Right.
6.9.
All right,
Okay, so you got the moved and the seconded part?
Are you ready, sir?
Who seconded it?
Oh, Carrie,
Karen.
Representative Dolan.
That's the order in which you,
Okay.
Alphabetically, right?
except the chairs
Yeah,
at the
except for
end.
you.
Yeah. Is that me? All right, if there's no other further discussion, we will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Representative Brennan,
No.
Representative Blooming,
Yes.
Representative Dickinson,
No.
Representative Dolan,
Yes.
50-50. Representative Harrison, no. Representative Holcomb,
Yes.
Representative Mahali,
Yes.
Representative Page,
No.
Representative Shaw,
Yes.
Representative Squirrel,
Yes.
Representative Tolino,
Yes.
Representative Lanford.
Yes.
So 840.
840. All right. Thank you. So prepare your, whatever you can. Very new for everybody. I don't know, but we'll have many questions because we have a very split vote. So there'll be people that won't be as happy. But that's life in the fast lane. All right.
Madam Chair, may I ask just a little clarification on the process? I presume you will be presenting it and we're just,
Yeah.
and you have the language based on the explanations provided on earlier drafts. We'll be prepared to follow up on our
Question, yeah.
We're the backup band.
Yes.
I'll be in the cafeteria.
Eating cookies.
I'm just kidding.
All right. I think with that, thank you all for paying attention.
Thank you.
Erin, you can